Serge Synthesizer. It has been sitting pretty much unused for almost 10 years, I think, close to that, since the old guy stopped teaching here. Who knows how long before that. It's a modular synthesizer that was created in the early 70s by one of the pioneers in the industry. Now, a modular synthesizer is similar to a keyboard. In a keyboard, the keys control the pitch of sound. That sound is fed into filters, effects, and mixers, and eventually into an amplifier and out to a speaker. The difference between a modular synthesizer and a normal keyboard is that at every point in between, the sound-making innards can be rearranged, connected to each other, to the keyboard, and back to themselves in any number of different ways. Literally an infinite number of different ways. Because of that, it's a really great way to, with a fairly small amount of equipment, small number of capabilities, to really get a lot of different sounds out of it. Serge Synthesizer, the designer and creator of our modular synthesizer, built and marketed the third modular system ever built. He joined such greats that you might recognize as Don Buchla and Bob Moog, who were the first two, Don being first, which is a wide misconception that Bob first came up with them, and Bob Moog after him, and then Serge just about 4 years after that. Serge was an electrical engineering student at Caltech in the late 60s. He was inspired by Don Buchla's pricey designs, but he felt that synthesizers should be accessible to everyone. He began designing circuits with multiple functions to allow for greater sonic flexibility with the fewest number of modules. Serge began creating and selling kits and finished synthesizers to his friends and colleagues. After the first commercial run, Serge kind of allowed several of his friends to take control of the building aspect of the business so that he could continue working on his designs. I believe that our school's synthesizer was once the personal property of one of these talented young engineers, really the gurus and masters of surge building. The build most closely resembles the second commercial run, which was aimed at universities and came in two different configurations. The first initial run was just 30 synthesizers that he sold to people who would just, it's pent up demand, and essentially it's like, oh, I guess I can make a business out of this. So this is part of the first, resembles the first run of commercial synthesizers, but there's a big difference. Despite the similar appearance, the synthesizer in front of me is not like any of the other stock Serges built. It has special modifications, one in particular that is not even searchable on Google. It is a synchronization function of the envelopes. It's a jack that allows you to connect them. And literally, if you search modular synthesizer, sync jack, or sync modification, you will not find a single review. You might hear it mentioned, there's no one who knows how to do it. I emailed the guy who sells the boards now, and he said he would have to ask Serge himself, who apparently is still alive. So for those reasons, and it's not just those, there's 3 modifications on each of the envelopes, and all of the multipliers, which are really classic Serge sound things, and those don't exist either. You can buy a $4,000 single panel today and have it custom built, or have it built for you, but they will not do any of these customizations. So it really is a totally priceless piece, and I haven't found anything else that has that level of modification. And because of that, and because of this sort of unfinished top here, these look like like these were cast-offs, like they didn't, these end sheets got messed up somehow, and they didn't bother to finish this. I think that this is a personal synthesizer that one of these original techs built for themselves and really went to the nines on doing the circuitry, and then it was eventually donated to the university. So now that you all know that you have this priceless noise relic available to you, I hope that somebody will be crazy enough to keep using it and keep it alive. These kinds of behemoths die when people don't turn the knobs and turn it on every day. And that's, took a long time for me to sort of get it back into working motion. A lot of the potentiometers have unwound themselves over time as people don't use them. But thank you, and I hope that you enjoy this little demo if we can get it to work, which maybe we can. on the volume that are making the individual notes kind of note sound. We quit and put it all the way up. We get rid of this modulation on the volume. It's just a plain sound, but then I'm changing the volume to make it sound like individual notes. That's just me changing the volume at a speed. But what was I trying to say? That everything goes up to audio rate. So right now I'm going to change the modulation of the filter and this volume to an audio rate. It's going to sound a little crazy, but you can play any control at note speeds. That's what separates something like this from a computer. You can have an infinite number of control voltages in and out, and it will never short or stop or skip a beat. It will always, if you look all the way down to the finest time signature, it will follow it exactly. This is the best in circuitry. Never overloads. And you can cross things back into themselves without any real fear of something being messed up. So. We have